So Matt, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How did you get into web design, Matt?
Well, I've always had a passion for technology and the internet, and I was lucky enough to get hired at a local IT company. Well, actually, a manufacturer of capital equipment called Teradyne, and they manufacture testers for semiconductors. So it's a completely technology-driven company that I worked for, and they paid for anything IT related that you would want to take: college courses, vocational courses, computer courses. And so I got onto the Microsoft track. I learned web design, all of the Microsoft suite, and so they pretty much groomed me to get into web design. The economy went bad, was laid off, and started doing it on the side.
Okay.
Learning, with some, simple software. Didn't really know coding, just, hey, I could build a website. This is back in 2002. So there wasn't a lot of web designers back then, and most of the websites were static HTML. So I went out and purchased some really cheap software. I think it was, I don't even remember the name of it, and built my first website. It was really terrible. I have actually, if you go to my website, you can see it there. I have an archive of my old websites.
Oh, right.
And just pretty much built my knowledge off of that. And my experience is completely, transformed from, a website design hack to a WordPress theme developer. And it's been about 11 years.
Yeah, well, that is a long time, and obviously, I'm sure you went through a lot of different phases in between doing your HTML. What is it? 11 years ago now, and
so we start off with HTML4.
Yeah.
Back in 2002, and that was transitional.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. God, I must have started on HTML properly around about 2005, 2006, actually. So you certainly beat me on that. But it's a good grounding to know HTML before you move into WordPress and PHP, I think, because then at least you know what the pages are at the end of the day. Whereas I think that's quite a good grounding. Although obviously there's a lot more to it than just HTML. But so have you been running your business since you were laid off in 2002?
I was doing it, I was freelancing on the side, moonlighting, till about 2004, and I was picked up by a company called dataremote.com, and they were actually pioneering machine to M2M devices. They would make cellular. They would basically take apart old cellular phones and make them connect with fax machines and machine-to-machine devices, cellular, before all these mobile devices came out. And they took me on as their SEO and website designer. I worked there for about a year, and then my website design business really took off at that point. And I just had enough clients where I was able to make a living off of it.
Uh-huh. And how were you getting the clients by word of mouth at that stage?
At the beginning stages, I was actually, believe it or not, I was going down to Main Street and knocking on people's doors and saying, "Hey, I can build you a website for your small business. You need one."
Yeah.
And most people at that time were looking at me like, "You're crazy. We don't need a website."
Yeah.
And now, obviously now everybody knows that now they need a website.
Yeah. This is 2004, 2005 sort of thing.
Yeah, this was about when I was knocking on doors down on Main Street. It was 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And my first day out, I actually got 2 clients, and that was very encouraging for me.
Yeah, very very interesting as well, because SEO was. You must look back and think how easy SEO was in those days. I don't know, but
Absolutely.
You just bung something in the title, Main Street, High Street Shop, Ventura, California, sells this, and it basically would have got some traffic, and that would have been it. That was pretty much it. The titles, the keywords, the descriptions. I mean, the stuff is still
that type of SEO is still employed.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to it now.
Yeah, there's a lot more competition for one thing.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting that actually WordPress, I think, came into being in around 2003. I wonder when you first got into WordPress.
2007. It's funny because I had a client that had a WordPress website, and it was using it was using one of the old templates built.
Kubrick feed, no.
Yeah, I think Kubrick. Yeah, that's exactly what I was using, and I was laughing at it, and I was like, so I designed a static HTML website, completely oblivious to what WordPress was, and it ended up being a nice website, but I didn't get into it until 2007. When I realized that, I have in 2007 I built a little client base, and it was making it more difficult for me to make, minor updates to these static websites. And then I started looking into content management systems, and my knowledge in PHP programming and JavaScript were becoming more extensive, and I realized that I could start working with CMS, content management systems. Unfortunately, WordPress was not the first one I started using. I was using Joomla, and I'll tell you what, there's a big difference between Joomla and WordPress, and if I have a second to talk, I could say that Joomla is probably the worst abomination that this planet has ever seen in terms of CMS systems.
Well, see, I was so lucky. Somebody told me to use WordPress in 2006, and I never dipped my feet in the Joomla or Drupal water, so I was lucky there.
Very lucky.
Yeah, but as you say, when you first realise that making minor edits with a WordPress site is 10 times easier than editing anything in HTML, a static HTML site. I remember editing sort of like the nav bar in a static HTML site, having to copy to do it to multiple pages.
Oh, that's the worst. What I started to do was, that's one of the reasons why I got into PHP, was because I could create server-side includes and create a nav bar, a nav bar server-side include. I would just go and update it, with a hard-coded URL or relative, URL, and that would make updating the navigation menus. But I would still have to, for drop-down menus and stuff, I would have to go in there and muck with that, and that would totally, just make it more difficult. Whereas with WordPress, you can just drag and drop. Yeah. So, well, let's talk. Let's bring things up to the present day, and so now, have you got loads of clients, and do you have more of a system in place for the sites and everything, and do you have other people working for you? I can vaguely make someone out. This is John Hart. He's actually my internet marketing specialist and WordPress assistant, and he helps take on my workload. I have Ashley. She's not here today. She's actually helping out her grandparents, and then my wife also helps me as well. And then I have a couple of colleagues that are up in Vancouver, Washington, that help me out as well.
Right. So
as far, and the other question was?
Just carry on there, because I'm really interested in how the business has grown, because you've gone from being on your own, freelancer, knocking down doors, having a few clients and updating their websites for them, and you must have obviously come to a stage where there was too many websites, too many clients, you had to employ people, have people helping you. How's that all gone, and what sort of workload are you looking at the moment?
Well, what I've had to do was diversify. One of the main reasons as a web designer is, I'm a designer and a developer. So my clients, when they come to me, I design the website, traditionally using like a Photoshop or Fireworks or Illustrator, creating mock-ups, and then giving them revisions, and then building a WordPress theme based around the design that we created. The problem with that is that the proliferation of WordPress templates that you could buy from Woo Themes or Theme Forest for pretty much, the price of, a dinner for two, makes it very hard for people to want to buy custom website design. So we had to diversify. Actually, we're in the process of designing our own theme templates for people, for other web designers to download, so that we can stay competitive in that area. But also, we're giving our clients the option to use templates rather than custom web design because of the competition. With I mean, in my neighborhood, in the city that I live in, which is of about 100,000 people, there's a good chunk. There's probably about 2,000 or 3,000 web designers here. And out of all the web designers here, none of them are real web designers. They just buy a template, upload it, slap a logo in there, and then they say, ta-da, I just designed you a website. Yeah. And then they charge about $700 for it. So I was thinking, that's cutting into our competition, and people are less likely to buy because of the templates that are out there. And with small businesses and people being exposed to these types of solutions, in order to stay competitive, we had to be able to adapt. And the ways that we're adapting is by using these templates that these clients would like to, prefer, or by using the templates that we're developing for specific types of businesses, such as auto mechanics, dentists, lawyers, attorneys, and different types of vertical markets. So we're creating specific templates for those, which will drive down the cost for clients, but it'll also drive down my development time so I can focus on the custom design work where people understand that they need a custom design to meet their marketing and branding needs.
Right. So, I mean, how does it work? You don't sell the templates via your website in the same way as Theme Forest does or anything like that? But
we will be doing that soon.
Right. Okay. And well, that's interesting. And how's that been going with your clients so far? Are they appreciating the templates, and how many are you doing and stuff like that?
Oh, as far as templates go, we probably get about 3 a week, depending on how much I try to push getting people to buy the template sites, because I like to use the templates to keep my staff busy. Right. It helps out with people. The problem with templates is that they're very generic. Oftentimes they're sufficient to place content, but as far as branding goes, and just having an impact on the site visitors, it's very difficult to achieve that with just run-of-the-mill templates that you buy. Another issue that I've seen is the customization. Sometimes clients will ask for customizations that the website will end up not looking anything like the template that they originally purchased, or the template will just end up looking like a monstrosity when it's done. And those are the two main issues that I'm seeing with those. So when I tell clients, when you find a template, you need to find a template that's 99.9% looking exactly the way you want it. Now, if you're not happy with that, we're more than happy to design a custom website that is built and branded to your specific needs, meaning that I'm going to consult with you about design, about colors, about branding, about presentation, about layout, about how to make the biggest impact on a client, on a site visitor, by placing content and elements such as integrating social media in the correct places. Whereas a lot of templates out there, they're very pretty, but they just don't have the correct layouts and branding that these clients specifically need, because everybody has their unique needs.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It does have a problem, and a lot of templates do look great on the template site, and a lot of people come to me saying, I've bought this template and I can't get it to work the way that they had it there, and
right.
That does happen. But really interesting that you're creating your own templates for your own clients. This is a great way of going forward.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to talk to you about your SEO services, because this is another way. Obviously, you've diversified, and it's a way that you can get out of the template cut price area and charge clients monthly, I assume. And how's that going? You've been doing this for a long time as well, since 2002.
I've kept up with SEO since I started doing it. It's SEO is a very it can be easy for I've built websites that rank in the top in the first page for that client's specific keyword terms. I mean, within 30 minutes of launching a website, because some clients just don't have a lot of competition, or those some specific industries they're just paying for the cheapest SEO guy that's really not doing much but creating spam, which is it easier for me to get my websites ranked higher because of the quality content and the way that we build the websites. It's changed a lot. From when I was doing it, there was not a lot of people doing SEO. The people that were doing it were people that were web developers like myself. Now I'm noticing that there's a lot of salesmen that pretty much go out there, they prospect, they make cold calls. Sometimes people get phone calls, solicited phone calls by SEO companies, sometimes claiming to be Google or trying to deceive people that they are Google, and or that they've been certified by Google or whatever. And it's just basically hard sales. Basically, they say that we're going to promise you first page rankings at $300, $300 US per month, but the client never ranks, and they charge them for about 3 months. And what that's done is it's created it's put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And it's become very frustrating because either some of the people, they're just not educated enough. For example, I get some people that call me and they think that SEO is a light switch, that you just turn it off and on and you keep paying the monthly fee. And what we do with the SEO is we optimize the website, but we also keep on top of their social media. We also keep on top of trying to build quality content so that people will link to it, and then also trying to create quality links that get back to the website to increase their page rank, their social, just everything. And a lot of people don't understand that's exactly what we're trying to do for them, which is the hardest part of SEO.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the hardest part of the job is really explaining to the client that not only SEO, I find that just the whole website thing, the way it needs to be a living, breathing thing, and it's not just something that you slap up there and it's all done and dusted. You pay the money and that's great. Everything's going to work from now on. It's not like that at all. It's something you need to work on every month, or every week or every day, depending on the frequency you want. But that is one of the hardest things to explain to a client is the need to keep on at it. And also you mentioned social media, and another thing we can do as web designers is to provide the consistency and the branding throughout the social media. At least you can do that, because lots of clients will not know how to do that, but you can supply the client with a great start on Twitter and Facebook with all the branding that's necessary on their various profiles and pages. You seem to be doing a great job, because if you manage to persuade clients to actually get the content out there, I mean that's quite good, because you should be able to charge premium amounts on that, because if you're providing blog posts which are good and will be linked to, then that is an incredible service to provide someone, I think.
Absolutely. Google Plus is, I obviously, you can tell, on Google Plus I'm on there a lot, and Google Plus is, it's the most difficult thing to explain or try to get people to understand. It's a very big social network, but people still think that it's Facebook or it's Twitter. And one of my hardest things, because of the authorship, Google authorship is very important for web design and SEO. Even though there's no such thing as author rank at this point, it is very helpful in the search results. If you have rich snippets, of course, which helps people click on your link when they're searching for a specific topic. But it's very difficult. In my experience, it's been very difficult getting people to get on board with Google Plus. I could sit there and show them, and they just, maybe it's the way I'm explaining it to them. I've only been doing Google Plus for a year, so
No, I think it is difficult. I mean, I'm struggling with Google Plus. I got to say, I spend time there, and I have been there as long as you, definitely. But I do find it difficult to explain to myself, actually, what it is, how it's different from Twitter and Facebook, and how to get traction there, which is what it's all about. And
Right.
it is, and yet with every week, I think I can feel it is getting stronger. I'm finding my feet with the communities there.
Right.
Because I think that's a nice place at the moment in Google Plus, because it's not saturated like Facebook can be, or whatever. So you can find nice communities there that aren't too big and aren't too small. So
Right.
I've been finding there, but I mean, as far as authorship and rich snippets is concerned, I mean that's easier to understand, because there's something tangible there. You get your face in
Right.
in the search results. Who doesn't want that? But actually engaging in Google Plus is something I'm still learning. Definitely.
Yeah, I've been able to lately. I've been able to increase my following, and I've been able to get engagements by connecting with people that have interests that are aligned with mine, and I've been able to create a good following based off of that. Followers all over the world, and it's helped me to gain pluses and shares on some of I don't post a lot about what I do for a living on there, but when I do, I make sure that it's not salesy. Come and buy a website. Hey, website designer. I try not to do. I try to make it, I won't post a page to a sell page. I'll post something to a blog. For example, a very popular page on my website is the worst.
It is 10 worst websites. Is it?
It's very popular in the UK. I don't know why, but it is, and it's popular around the world. And that I wrote that post because
I designed one of them.
I'm sorry.
I think I probably designed one of them.
Did you really?
No.
No. I did that. I wrote that post, just so that people can see, this is something you should not do.
Yeah.
Is build websites like this. And I get visits. I've had 3 visits from Cambridge University, Webster University, Harvard, UCLA. I mean, a lot of students are looking at this web page, and they're looking at the content, which is, for me, I'm happy, because I think it's a mission accomplished there.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely it definitely does. It's something that I checked out, and I thought it was great when I looked at it. And a lot of it brought me back, though. It did bring me back to the late 90s, I think. But that was probably when some of them were designed. But it's really, I'll definitely link to it in the show notes for this post. But I'd love to ask you one last question, Matt, because we've covered an awful lot of stuff, but there's a lot of people out there who probably want to be web designers, would love to start a web design business. You could probably tell them a lot, but what would be or maybe some people who've done it for 2 years, maybe they're doing freelancing on the side, a bit of moonlighting, and they want to up their game. What would be one good bit of advice you'd give them, Matt?
My best advice is to learn how to use a graphics drawing program. Learn how to draw up a website and learn how to make that into HTML. Pixel for pixel, whether it be a responsive website, whether it be a desktop website, but learn how to use that, because it's a lot easier to draft a website, such as how an architect drafts the plans for a large building. And you want to use a graphics program because your changes will be easier. Your websites will look nicer, and it will, and also to be able to code that into HTML jQuery, JavaScript, HTML5, CSS. It's important to learn those fundamentals and learn them well, because if you're just going to go out there and rely on buying templates and installing them, and then when your client has some major problems with the website, or they need something built into it and you don't know how to do it, you're going to lose that business.
Yeah.
So my advice is to learn, the right way how to build websites by writing code, by using graphics programs, by learning how to do it. And the information is all out there on the internet, whether you're a student or you're a seasoned professional. Everything that I pretty much learned, as far as my modern knowledge, is completely off of the internet.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you said there, and I lay out all my websites in Photoshop first. I show the client usually a home page and another page, and as we were talking, the first thing we said as well, it was nice to be able to learn how to do a page in HTML before we even learnt WordPress or PHP, and we could do that first, and then, which was the hard way, and then we learnt how to do it the easy way. But it's good to know how to do it the hard way first, to actually know how the thing works first of all, in order to give, and then you can give your clients everything, because clients will always ask you to do the one thing that is really difficult.
Absolutely.
Without trying, they'll do that.
Right.
Yeah. Oh well, it's been great, Matt. It's been great to talk to you. You've brought a bit of sunshine into my life on a very cold April evening here in London. I feel a bit of the Californian sunshine has come out from me. Yeah, I could see it. It's great. But now, thanks a lot for coming on the show, Matt. And,
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.